Mario once again with MIA Microflight, and I am going to do a video here. I finally got a couple satisfying flights with this C189 after having gone through a lot of growing pains here, just trying to get this set up correctly. I finally decided not to mess with the trims, especially under program mode, because my helicopter was getting away. It was just creeping up slowly, and then a couple instances it just took off, and I had to use this stop button to kill it. Came down on hard on the last flight after several flights, and ended up breaking the landing gear. So I have installed some upgrades of my own upgrades that my own landing gear that I've used on my own design helicopters. Tail guard also is a guard that I installed on this one to protect the tail. I am using my own 3D printed blades with damping on the blade grips. I explained that on in some other videos, so check out those videos. Also, I am using a GWS 4025 prop here, modified, and it's just pressed there with a rubber piece of tubing to also provide a little bit of damping there. It's working great. I had a couple flights, so I'm going to do another flight here, and hopefully this will be caught on this video. I also modified my radio. I brought the antenna inside this post here, or this section here, because my antenna was underneath the PC board, so maybe that had something to do with this helicopter not making a full connection at times with between the transmitter and the receiver. So I brought the antenna. I explained that also on some of my other videos, shorts, and I installed this switch here, which is a redundant switch to this one here, because for me it's just a lot easier to have my finger underneath here, and as I'm flying, I can still fly this thumb over my index finger, which is typically the way I fly. I can't fly it, thumb open thumb, as some people do. I just can't do it that way. For me, I need this for precision flying, and I installed this switch so that it's easy access here. So if I can get in trouble, I can simply just cut the throttle just by pressing that, and not having to do this kind of thing, which this is also a little bit hard to find when you're not looking at the transmitter. So for me, this is a lot more ergonomic to my style of flying, and just I think it makes more sense to have the switch here, or maybe a lever here would have been great to have the switch on a lever, so you can cut that a lot easier, just by feel, and not have to search for this little button here when you're flying. So let's do a flight here, and let's see what happens. I am going to try to keep it low, because I don't want, number one, because my camera angle is not, it doesn't cover too much height here, and I want to be able to capture this from the landing, from the takeoff to the landing here, hopefully. Okay, here we go. Once again, I'm just going to go through the sequence here, turning on the radio. It starts blinking. Bind the radio up and down. You can see the helicopter bound, and then calibrate the flight controller. Let go and arm it. Okay. Very smooth. I mean, I have not been able to get this smooth of a flight here. I still have to manipulate the transmitter, the cyclic, but it is really smooth. A lot smoother than the original stock setup, because the blades have damping. Oops, there it goes. Yeah, I don't know if you notice. Okay. I'm trying to hold the throttle low, so maybe that sometimes it does that. It just brings it down So I think the way this works is this senses that you have the throttle at a certain point, and then it calibrates it. The computer is doing that for you, which I dislike very much, because it is, the computer is doing the flying for you at that point. It's not, you doing the throttle control. I wish I was able to just fly it this the regular way, as you do a regular helicopter, without having that flight controller take over for you at the beginning. So I'm going to have to start this again, and gently go up here. Okay, see, it wants to climb. So I have the throttle way low right here to bring it down, and then if I let go, it's going to want to climb again. See, if I let go of my throttle, it'll go to mid-stick position. Okay, now it's holding that height. So I think you have to just hold the transmitter of the throttle stick low enough until you get it to the height that you want, and then let go, and then hopefully the computer will take over that. But as you can see, it's working really well here so far. Yeah, this is my third flight. I would say this is a satisfying flight. Okay, it's a little bit low, so I'm going to increase the throttle and let go of the throttle, so it holds that position there. Okay, so like I said, I'm not messing with the trims here. I could set my trims a little better, so that this helicopter flies more level, and I don't have to work the stick too hard. But like I said, I'm not messing with that, because when I was doing that, that's when I got in trouble. With the helicopter was doing some funky things, and throttle was very erratic. So I'm not messing with that, and I'm not messing with the programming feature, because that also did some funky things where I had to, the helicopter took off and I had to crash land it. Okay, so I'm going to raise the camera here. I'm going to pause this. I'm going to bring it down. I mean, it's working beautifully now, but I think that's attributed also to the blades. The blades that I'm using, those are 3D printed blades. I introduced the damping feature, as I mentioned in my other video, and also that tail blade is not the typical, smaller kind of skinny blade. This is a little bit wider, 70 millimeter. I explained that in my short video, so go check those out. Okay, I am going to do a little more aggressive flying here, and I'm going to see if I can capture a little more here via this video here. Hopefully my video will have a little more time here, otherwise it cuts down when my memory is full. Okay, here we go again. Okay, I can't get over how smooth the rotor is. I mean, hopefully this video is catching that. It's very, very smooth. So if you watch my shorts, how I did the blade damping on both the main rotor and also the tail rotor, watch those shorts. If you can do that, I I can almost guarantee you that you're going to have a very, very smooth helicopter, provided that you don't have issues with your flight control or flight controller, I should say. This is working really, really well. It could be a little bit more nose heavier. That's the reason why I have those landing gear skids. I'm actually using double landing gear skids there. The original ones are short, but I added those long ones so that I can have a little more nose weight. Because without the original scale body, you know, the weight, the CG gets a little, it becomes a little too tail heavy. But it is working beautifully. You know, it's not totally stable. Once again, because I don't want to mess with the trims. I'm doing pretty much the stability through my hands, which I really I prefer it that way than have the computer fly it for me. Be totally stable. So yeah, it needs a little more nose weight, because I'm trying to go forward and it just wants to stay in hover. There we go. I gotta force it into that condition. Plus, I also have a little bit of a headwind. It's working beautiful. Wow, this thing, that's tail circuits. Once in a while, I can hear the throttle jerking. You can hear the revving of the motor. Automatically, it just goes zzz, zzz. And that's I've been trying to watch that so I don't let it get away. That's why I'm flying it very low here. But that revving is also because the flight controller, the sensors are taking over. I'm not sure how this. See right there, it's keeping it at that height. But I am still trying to balance it via the elevator and aileron to keep it steady. I'm not doing anything with the throttle here. That's all on the without using throttle. Yeah, I'm not going crazy with the throttle. If I was in an open park or larger area, I would let this rip and do a little more aggressive flights. But because I am in my backyard, I don't want this to get away and land on my neighbor's yards. And I just don't want to have any issues of breaking the rotor's blades again and having to repair it, because I've done that several times, and it's a lot of work to do that. I am printing some new blades just in case. I'm going to print a few sets of these blades. I'm also printing the landing gear adapters. So I did do some adapter blocks yeah, for the landing gear for the struts. so that it fits right underneath the frame, the original frame, and I can use that landing gear that I've used on my original helicopters. So it's working. It's working great. Let me land it, because I think I've proven the point here. Let's see if I can land it on top of this mat here. Oh, I just landed there. But it does take a little while for that thing to shut down. See that? It's not shutting down. Oh. It's not shutting down. So I am going to use the... Well, let's see. See how long it takes? It's not shutting down. And that's the problem. If that throttle remains on a higher setting rather, it's not going to shut down. It's not shutting down. I'm going to hit that land. God, this is difficult. Now it shut down. Yeah, it takes that long to shut down, which is yeah, there's something with that flight controller. Not totally happy with it, but at least I got some satisfying flights. I am considering putting just a regular flight controller for just an F4 and F7 flight controller as rotor flight has shown in their websites. You can buy flight controllers specifically designed for helicopter flightless helicopters, or you can use just a regular quadcopter flight controller that has at least 10 amp ESCs on board the controller, because the main motor, I don't think it pulls more than 5 amps, but if it does pull a little bit more than 5 amps, you have that reserve. So yeah. Anyway, let me know what you think of this video. Mario once again. Stay tuned for more.